What's up, YouTube? Just want to get right into something real quick. Shaolin versus Wu-Tang. Let's just say I love that game. That game is like a dream come true. It's been years that I've been thinking, even like, what if they actually had, literally had that idea of putting Bruce Lee, Chuck Norris, Jim Kelly, Jackie Chan, all these guys, for years. So when I found out about this game, I'm like, what? Okay, let me just address some things about the game though. I saw some videos where people were saying the Switch version, oh man, there's too many glitches. You can see like the clothes, like the clothes that they have on coming through the other clothes and all that, which is true. But guess what? It's every version. I have it on my One X. I have it on my Series X. I have it on my Switch. And I've seen it and played it on PC. And every version of the first game has the same exact glitches. Even like, for example, at the end, when they went in there, break down into their katas and stuff, and they're standing on top of their opponent, and like his shoe is sticking up through his shoe. Now, if those glitches will make you say, I don't want this game, then you wouldn't want it for either system. What I will say, okay, is as far as the Switch version, well, we know the Switch is not as powerful as the One X, okay? And even PC, have super good graphics. We know that. The Switch can when it wants to. I would say it don't look like they did anything to enhance the graphics, no. But as far as those glitches, those glitches are in the original game. So it's not just a Nintendo Switch thing. So that is false, people. It's not just a Nintendo Switch thing. Whatever, every platform that it's on, it's the same thing. Now, Shaolin versus Wu-Tang 2, I've never actually got my hands on that game. I've seen demonstrations of it, and actually, it's only the one I saw only has 18 characters. Now, when I look at it and it says early access, so what I'm assuming is that, because I've seen other videos that don't say early access and it's still 18 characters, which is kind of weird because on the first one they had 30. Now, the Nintendo Switch version, now the version for Steam and the Xbox One X, they have 30 characters, 30 stages. Okay. The Switch version has 27 characters and 20 stages, which is why I put it on my One X and my Series X. Okay. If they had the full version, I might not have even done that. But then again, I might have just to get a stronger, more polished version of it graphically. But, I have not seen those same glitches in the second version of the game. Okay, Shaolin versus Wu-Tang 2. And the only one that I've seen that's actually, that you can actually download or buy and download from, Steam or from Xbox or from Nintendo is the first one. Which honestly, I like the first one. They have team battle modes on there and everything. The second one only has, like I said, when I watched this, it has 18 characters. And I said, why would you go from 30 to 18? That's a big drop. And then the third one. Okay, they have a third one, which is called Fighter's Legacy. Now, the third one is more 80s, late 80s, 90s movie characters than more so the 70s and like early 80s. Pai Mei and people like that, Ghostface Killer. It's more of that 90s feel. What made that game special was not just the game itself, the fact that Jim Kelly and Bruce and all these guys are on there, but they fight exactly how you saw them fight in the movies. And they can keep that series going. I mean, you got Into the Dragon, Bruce Lee. You have Return of the Dragon, Bruce Lee. You got Fist of Fury, Bruce Lee. The same with Jim Kelly, Chuck Norris, like different movies that these guys been in. So that they're using the characters that they played in certain movies. So the one that's on Shaolin versus Wu-Tang 1, that's the Chinese Connection. When his teacher was murdered and his school was destroyed. So they can do that. But the music had a huge part to do with it. They took the music, the background, the sceneries from the actual movies. And it just, that game is such a gem, man. It's like, damn, I love this game. I know it's a small company. If they had the kind of money to put into it, like they do Mortal Kombat and Street Fighter and stuff like that. There's so much more they could do with that game. And they don't have to go all out and go crazy with it. I just have ideas. Even if they did something as simple as you're fighting that, that one guy that wins his school, okay, which is something they always did back in the day in the movies. He's going to, for that territory. If I beat you, I own this school. Their name goes up. And your students become my students type thing. They did all that kind of stuff, right? They could even keep it like that. And that feel will give you that same feel that you had when you watched the movies back then. Because the cut scenes are just like, they'll walk out a few seconds, they'll do something, and there's no actual words, no talking, just words on the screen. There's so much more they could do with that game. They could remaster that first one, especially, and if they just made that game over. Do you understand what I'm saying? Or remastered the first one and added or whatever, however. But they could actually, that game has a lot. I love that game. Now, what I don't do, I don't compare. I just never did that. I like Mortal Kombat for what it is. I like Street Fighter for what it is. If I find myself playing one more than the others, then I guess you could say that's the one I'm feeling the most at that time, or the one I like more. But I never compared them. King of Fighters, Dead or Alive, Virtual Fighter, Tekken. I've never compared them. Killer Instinct. I like everything for what it is. And what makes it different is what makes it more enjoyable. Because when I'm playing this game, I don't think about, it doesn't feel like another game. That's what I always like when I go from one game to the next. And people said that Shaolin versus Wu-Tang reminds them of Tekken. I don't get that Tekken feeling at all. At all. It's something that they felt, but I don't get that at all. It doesn't remind me of Tekken at all. But that game has the feel, and I have like tons of like the old martial arts movies. So all of the characters in the movies in the game I have in my movies. So it's funny because when I see them, it's like, oh, I know who that is. I know I might not remember the name that they had in the movie so much, right off the top, but like, I know what movie it came from. I know who that guy is and who he's supposed to be, that type of thing. But listen, it's a solid game. Like I said, if those glitches will bother you, then hey. But it's on every platform, and it's only the first one from what I saw. From what I get, I've never seen the completed version of the second or third one, and that those are only available on Steam, from what I understand. So anyway, at the end of the day, it's a solid game. I do really, 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 really love that game. And for like 3 straight days, that's what I've been playing. So it's like, they got a gem right there. I hope they keep it going. You can have 2 versions of that game, if you know what I mean. If they stuck to the old school, long white hair, long eyebrows, and they stuck to that, like the way they made the first one, and then they have, not so much the second one, because the first and second one are very similar. There's just less characters on the second one. But the third one, Fighters Legacy, where it's a team battle game, I think you can do one-on-one mode on there. I'm not sure, because everybody I've seen so far has been doing tag. But that's the one that has more 90s like version characters on there, and there's room for everything on there. So that's what I mean when I'm saying they can separate it where they have different brands of it. But anyway, I love that game. We'll see where it goes from here. Hopefully it's not the end of it, but I think they should do a remastered version of the first one. Really just put some more work and effort into it, like when they fall, the way they move, and just make it where the game, the way the game is right now is beautiful, but if they added a little storyline to that and made it where it just felt more genuine of a, not just a straight up arcade, because that's what it is. It's like a straight up arcade fighter. You just basically, it's like going into an arcade, just boom, just keep going till you can't, till you lose or whatever. Only now you don't need quarters, right? You just, try again, right? So this game is beautiful, man. I love it. I really do. And I'm gonna look more into it to see what's going on with the last 2. Well, I know the second one was finished. I just never played it. I've seen it, And like I said, what I've seen, I didn't see those same glitches on the second and third one like I did on the first one. But anyway, I'm gonna look more into this game to see what's going on. In fact, when I finish this video, I'm about to go out there and play some more. And listen, I will catch you guys on the next video.